Good afternoon YouTube and welcome to today's video. If you're new to the channel, we're all about camper vans, building, converting and everything that you need to know to convert your van or add any additions that you might think you might need in the future. We also have a sister channel which is Stearman's on Tour, which is, instead of being about building the van, it's about building the memories that you can make once the van's finished, so you should check out that channel also. In today's video we're going to be showing you a few small tips on how to keep your pooches cool in this heat wave formerly known as summer. So we spent last year touring around in our van and the dogs were getting pretty warm. Now what we're going to be showing you today is not a method that you're going to be able to leave your dogs in your van all day in blistering hot sunshine, because that is still a no-no unless you've got some sort of super duper fantastic aircon system that's going to keep them cool, which this video isn't going to show you. What we're going to show you in today's video is just to keep them a little bit more comfortable and cool while you're travelling and in transit during the journey. So the first thing is, we all love to do this. Nice big comfy beds. This is great for winter, but you need to remember that when you see your dog laying around in the summer, does he lay in his bed? No, he doesn't. So filling their sleeping area with big comfy beds is not a great idea. Instead, you're going to invest in a set of these. These are cool mats. I don't exactly know how they work, but they are brilliant. They're always cold to the touch. And by laying these in the bottom of the beds is going to help keep them much cooler on a really hot sunny day. Another thing is, make sure you've got good insulation. The amount of people that we speak to that say, we're going to be spending all our time in Europe, we're not going to be cold. Insulation works both ways. Make sure that whatever part of the van that the dogs are going to be sleeping is very well insulated. This is also going to stop the sun's heat getting into the van, as well as keeping the van warm in the winter. The next thing which we're going to be wiring up now is just some very easy and cheap fans. Having a fan in there with the dogs is just going to help just blow a nice cool breeze on them. It's certainly not an aircon system, but it is going to help keep the dogs cool while in transit. So that's what I'm going to get on with now. So in the back of Apollo, originally when we built it, we had a drying room. So they basically, our night heat vented into the drying room, and then we had an extractor fan which took out all the moisture. So if we've been on a long walk, we'd got wet, fallen in a river, it's happened, we could put our boots and our coats and all that in there and dry them off. However, we went and got another dog, so we lost our drying room, but we do still have the extractor fan up here, which is now utterly pointless. So we've got a 12-volt cable ran into the back of the van, which we can tap into to now run fans into both of our dog crates. If you don't have that, which you probably won't, you're going to have to get a 12-volt feed to the back of your van to wire these up. So I'll get these wired in now, but as I say, all we're going to need to do is take everything out, tap into this 12-volt source, and we can bring the wires down here, and we're going to have one fan mounted there and then another fan mounted there to help keep the dogs cool. So we'll get that done, and I've got one more tip for you. So these fans come with some sticky pads, because they're normally for sticking to your dashboard. Now we want to screw them to a wall, so those sticky pads are not going to stick. So all I've done now is I've just removed the base so I can check exactly where all the wires are, because I'm going to screw straight through this. And you want to just make sure that you're not going to screw through any boards or wires or anything like that. So I've took the base off, and now I can see where I can screw. Either side is fine, and that means I can screw straight through it and into the wall, so it's got a nice solid fix so it don't fall on the dogs in transit. So now that's all wired up, we've got a switch on this panel here in the front of the van that's accessible from the front. We can flick that switch, and that should now be blowing lovely cool air into both the dogs' areas. So the final tip is a really obvious one, but it's water. Now when you're in transit, your water bowls are very likely to get tipped over or knocked over by your dogs. So we've gone for a water bowl that is not too big in diameter, so it doesn't take up too much space in the dog's room, but also quite a deep bowl. So this means we can only half fill it, so it doesn't splash over the sides when you're going around corners. And then what we're going to do so the dogs don't knock it over is make a wooden enclosure that it's going to sit inside and then screw to the wall so the dogs don't knock it over. That's the last job that I need to get on with now. Yeah, just a very simple wooden box with a hole cut in the top, and that means that they're not going to knock the ball over, it's not going to tip over. And again, just fill it half full, and then that means at least it's not going to slosh over when you're driving down the road. I hope you enjoyed that video. If one or more of them tips can help keep your fur babies cool while they're travelling around in the van, then hopefully they do help. Remember, I can't stress enough that sticking a fan, a cool mat and a bit of extra water is not good enough to leave your dogs in the van for a long period of time. These are just to help keep them comfortable while you're travelling, you know, over long periods of time. Keep them cool, keep them comfy, keep them safe. Remember, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel if you want to see more camper van related videos. And if you like watching people drive around enjoying those camper vans, then check out Stearman's Onto, our sister channel, where we travel around in a Polo showing you the corners of the UK, and hopefully one day we might even find Europe. Until then, like, comment and share and all that jazz, and we will see you in the next video.